In 1954, a medical examiner in Tulsa, Oklahoma, pulled a glass jar from a shelf and held it up to the light. Inside was the stomach of a man named Samuel Doss. The doctor expected to find evidence of a common intestinal infection, but instead he found enough arsenic to kill a small army. This discovery pulled the thread on a 30-year tapestry of death woven by a woman the world knew as a sweet floral-wearing grandmother. But as the police began to exhume body after body from the red clay of Alabama and the soil of North Carolina, the woman at the center of it all didn't cry or plead for mercy. She sat in the interrogation room, tilted her head, and giggled. Nannie Doss, famously known as the Giggling Grandma, was the ultimate master of Southern hospitality. To her neighbors, she was the lady who always had a fresh prune pie cooling on the windowsill. To her husbands, she was a death sentence. The trail of bodies began as far back as 1927 in Alabama. First, it was her two middle children who died of suspected food poisoning. Then it was her mother, her sisters, and a string of husbands that read like a revolving door of tragedy. But as the body count rose, a chilling pattern emerged that went unnoticed for decades. How did one woman manage to salt her entire family tree without a single doctor or neighbor suspecting foul play for 30 years? The answer lay in Nannie's terrifyingly normal routine. She was obsessed with Lonely Hearts columns and cheap romance novels, searching for a perfect cinematic love. Every time a husband failed to live up to the fictional heroes in her books, perhaps by snoring too loud or being too stingy with the grocery money, she didn't file for divorce. She reached for the arsenic. She would mix the white powder into their morning coffee or stir it into their favorite desserts, sitting by their bedsides and holding their hands while they withered away, playing the part of the grieving angel for anyone watching through the window. The investigators were baffled by her total lack of empathy, but the most unsettling evidence was hidden in the very seasoning of her kitchen. The detail that many people overlook is how Nannie perfected her craft. She didn't just dump poison into a meal, she integrated it into the household staples. She referred to her arsenic-laced sugar and salt mixtures as her special seasoning. When she was finally cornered by detectives, she didn't show an ounce of remorse. She admitted that she killed her fifth husband, Samuel, simply because he had restricted her television watching and told her she couldn't grow her favorite roses. To Nannie, a human life was worth less than a TV schedule. She had literally salted her life with death just to keep things interesting. With the truth finally unburied, the rural South had to reckon with the fact that their most prolific serial killer wasn't a monster in the woods, but the charming lady next door. Nannie Doss eventually confessed to 8 murders, though investigators believe the real number is closer to 12 or more. She died in prison in 1965, taking the full extent of her special recipes to the grave with her. She remained the Giggling Grandma until her final breath, a chilling reminder that sometimes the most dangerous poison is the one served with a warm smile and a pinch of salt. The truth isn't always pretty, and often it's buried right beneath our feet. If you want to dive deeper into the shadows of the past, make sure to stay tuned. This has been the Buried Truth Files. Sleep well if you can.